Hi, good morning. How is everyone? It's Monday morning. It's September 19th. I'm Mary Amy, and I'm coming to you live from New York, and this is Living in the Light. And I'm all about cracking open that beautiful glowing light in your heart and guiding you to your destiny. And together we're going to do this. We're going to bring light onto the earth, and we are awakening ourselves to a higher consciousness, to another reality. So today we're going to cover topics like solar flash, lose your queen, intuition. Of course, I'll be doing a visualization. I'll be mentioning angels. We'll talk about our clairsenses. So how was everyone's weekend? Did everyone spend some time in nature? Did they rest? Did you fulfill one of your 5 humongous goals? Did you spend time in relationships with your loved one? Maybe just focusing on your destiny and what brings you personal happiness. So I want to share with you the solar flash, and that is because, well, of course, I've mentioned it in the past. I don't know if you absolutely know what it allegedly is, because there's really no proof yet. It's not really in the science books or history. They talk about solar eruptions. They don't really speak of the solar flash. The Carrington event was allegedly a solar flash. I think that was 1859. It was before Lincoln became president. And so I had a dream. I guess it was Saturday night. I had 2 dreams related to the solar flash. Now, my youngest, my daughter, she's had numerous solar flash dreams. And so my dream was, I was actually believing it was true. I was looking up at the sky with my daughter, the one who has the solar flash dreams. And so my phone's ringing. And so we were looking up into the sky, and what do I see? I see the sun, and it's giving off like white light, beams and rays of white light. And so we were talking about it in the dream, and I felt in the dream, because sometimes dreams can impact you in a way that you come away from it with an emotion or a feeling, and it's very powerful, and you wake up and you're kind of startled, and you're still in the dream, and you're a little confused because you're like, oh, well, that's not real, but is that real? Is that, and so you feel so much sometimes that it feels like it's real. So this dream that I had about the solar flash, I'm saying to myself, wow, this is real. This really happened. And usually I receive premonition dreams. So what does that mean for me? And as we work on our clairsenses, we're going to find that we are going to also have premonition dreams, and dreams are going to share information with us. And maybe even someone who's passed will come visit you, and you'll have visitations. And if you need any healing might come through your dreams. Or you might release a situation that you can't seem to deal with while you're awake. So they're very helpful. So to me, this dream that I had was a representation that it's to come. Now, I also had another dream related to the solar flash, but this time it was the moon, and then there was planets around it, and it almost looked like a diagram. And I want to share this with you because I want you to know kind of my personal experiences, and maybe you can relate them to yourself. Now, the solar flash, it's a flash, and maybe it's considered a new mindset. It will bring on a new mindset. So the sun determines the outcome. So it's action of the sun's light and heat is a solar flash or a solar flare. So beams. So the difference is a solar flare they're talking about, like NASA will mention it. You'll see it in astrology or profiles related to any kind of solar activity. Solar flash is kind of a more recent terminology that other individuals like myself are using. So a solar flash is a beam on Earth that's produced by the sun, and solar flares are a brief eruption of intense high energy and radiation from the sun's surface. So it causes electromagnetic disturbances on the Earth, and maybe it will upset radio frequency or transmissions. It might break down power lines. And so a solar flash is really the last indication or the last bit left to awaken the masses. And other beings like myself who are doing videos or talking about this, talking about 5D, are speaking of this grand awakening where everyone wakes out of the matrix and they say, oh, what is this? And maybe that happens to them spiritually. Maybe it happens to them by a chance occurrence where they are exposed to information that doesn't really ring true. So they awaken in a matter of speaking to that this might not be the only reality, this physical reality that exists. So anyone joining us, please like the video and subscribe to the channel and write in the chat and tell me where you're coming from. So these huge bursts of electromagnetic radiation, these solar flares that have been coming upon the Earth since the spring, and so it's definitely changing the energy on Earth, and so it's sending away, and it has sent away a lot of negativity. Now, I feel as though most, if not all, negative energies that were really dark forces on the Earth have left, or are they in the midst of diminishing? Now, I could see in the angelic realm that this was going to happen because there was a spiritual battle between good and evil. It was between demons and Satan and dark forces and light and God and angelic beings. And so that's why I speak of angels. I speak of Archangel Michael, who's beside me when I look in my third eye. So this solar flash that is about to occur, I sense because of my dream over the weekend that it is imminent. It will be happening quickly, soon. Now, what does that mean? Well, energy emitted by a solar flare, actually, I'm going to share what that is technically. A solar flare is 1,000,000 times greater than the energy from a volcanic explosion. So if you were to say a solar flare has 1,000,000 times greater than the energy from a volcanic explosion, I would think a solar flash would be even more powerful. And a solar flare temperature reaches 10 or 20 million degrees Kelvin. And so Kelvin is the base unit of a thermodynamic temperature. So a flash, what is a flash? It's sudden, it's brief, it passes quickly, it's bright, and it's a kind of giant light that is given off suddenly, and it's a blaze, so it'll come in and out. And so what will happen? Hey, Alexandra, good morning from New York. Hi, thanks for joining us. I hope that you're having a wonderful day so far. Did you have a good intention? Did you set your intention when you woke up? Because right before I come on, I always close my eyes quickly and I just connect my mind, my heart, and my spirit, and I commit to doing the best that I possibly can. And that's what an intention is, good intention. So this solar flash, is it going to knock out Wi-Fi and satellites and electronics and machinery? Well, possibly. I think we consider it to be something that's going to affect our consciousness and our mindset. So our mindset might be altered because it's going to have to stop us in our tracks. We're not going to be able to look at things from the same perspective anymore because it's going to have a lasting effect. A solar flare, a solar flash is going to have a lasting effect on us. And we are going to change, whether we realize it or not. Like I have to tell you, I've had little changes, and then more recently, I've had a big change. I have a big change, and it definitely shakes you up. Any kind of part of your life that shifts. Now, sometimes we ask for a shift in our life, or like I say, we're going to our destiny. So as we ask for our destiny to come forward in our life, to be present in this moment, and we have gratitude for this moment, we are making and actually asking for change to come, and it will. And sometimes you seem like you're going along in the same path, in the same way, and then all of a sudden zippity doo dah, you have a big change. Maybe life comes in and makes that change for you, or you decide to go right instead of left when you pull out the driveway. So a solar flash will probably bring big change to everyone. Hey, Michael, thanks for joining us. People to go to work. I'm from San Antonio, Texas. Well, thanks for joining us. I hope you liked the video and subscribe to the channel. This is Living in the Light, and I'm all about shifting away darkness and guiding you to your truest self, your higher self, your potential. And we're just mentioning the solar flash right now because the solar flash is going to actually awaken everyone that's left. Now, we spoke about the late timeline arrivals on Friday, and I mentioned that there are those who just are trying to catch up. Now, we all will get there, and it's going to be exciting because we're going to have peace on earth and heaven on earth, and we are all going to come together and realize that we are one. We are one. The law of one. We service to self or service to others. Which path are you interested in taking? So as this solar flash occurs, and when it occurs, when will it occur? I believe that, keep up the good work, my friend, and God bless. God bless to you as well, Michael. And greetings to San Antonio, Texas. I'm in New York. So this solar flash, the reason why I'm bringing it up is because I mentioned last week, it was kind of cryptic, how there was this discussion of September 24th, and I even heard it and saw it on social media recently. So September 24th, what is going to happen? Well, the German chancellor mentioned September 24th, and it's going to be a day to be remembered. Now the queen has passed, and we're going to get into the queen. There's been arrests by the FBI. And so they're also talking about resetting the 2030 agenda. Now, what is that exactly? That is a one world government, and also the stock market. So there's a lot going on. So why not add the solar flash? Maybe it's the tail end of the era. It's the end of an era. And so it's a period of time that there's been a particular characteristic that has reigned. So I think and I believe it's the end of an era. It's the end of this physical matrix, this linear world. Now we can be in the linear world. We can be in the physical reality right here, like here in this moment. I'm in this physical reality. I being with the angel. But it's about what your existence is here. So thoughts are very powerful. And as we create the thoughts that we want for the destiny, and hopefully they're positive and they're bringing light into your life, you will see that this physical reality will consistently be changing. And so the 3D matrix, the cage that we've been living in with the four walls and the ceiling, we've been imprisoned. We've had these attachments of all of these systems, the history, the medical, the education, the government. And as these systems are leaving, it's going to be replaced by the 5 dimension, which is a term used for a higher consciousness. And so the solar flash is actually going to bring an awakening to the rest. The late timeline arrivals will be coming in. And so what will happen when they come in? Well, they're going to be awakened from their slumber, like they've had amnesia, and they've been programmed with this mind control, like the rest of us were in these systems, that this is the only way in this physical reality, the 9 to 5 work week, and you work 40 to 50 years, and then you retire and you die, you pass. So where's the joy? Where's the fun in all that? And so, hey, Elsa. Elsa's kind of coming on camera now. She is my little Havanese. She's going to be 9 years old in October. Her birthday's coming. So this sudden flash that's coming, it's arriving. We don't know when it will come. However, I believe it's coming pretty soon because I had these 2 dreams related to the solar flash. And so for me, I think that it will come. And what will happen? Maybe it will knock out satellites and Wi-Fi. Maybe it will be the commencement of a new era, heaven on earth. It's something to look forward to, isn't it? I mean, look, there's signs and messages always. There's warnings. So be aware. Like what I do is I spoke about breaking up, breaking up signs, symbols, messages. If you get a feeling or an emotion, and we're learning our clair senses, finding out about our clair senses, because our senses, our feeling, our touch, our taste, our hearing, our smell are all our knowing. And so the more that we tune into our clair senses, the more we'll be able to break down signs and symbols. So maybe a sign and symbol for you that there's change coming in, everything goes wrong one day, which is a sign that your energy pattern is shifting. So be aware if you start to experience suddenly some changes in your normal day where things just go wrong. Things just are not going together easily. Like I'm having a little bit of a hard time today because my life has changed in the last 3 days significantly. And so I'm adjusting. So I'm a little off today. If you notice, I'm a little off. And I'm kind of like, it's almost like I'm deer in the headlights. It's a good thing, and I'm embracing change, but I'm just adjusting. And so something else will be coming into my life soon, and then I'll have to adjust again. So, like I said, we're fragile. There's all these systems within us. We have our emotional, we have our spiritual, we have our mental, we have our physical. And when something comes in, it kind of takes us off kilter. We kind of fall down a little bit. But just as I say your mantras, I am strong, I'm brave, I'm courageous, and I'm patient. And with those, I say, I'll get through it, and just be patient with me if you don't mind. Thank you for doing this. Thank you. They've been doing this for 100 years. Yes. So thanks, Michael, for sharing everything you are today. It's nice to have someone in the chat writing. So the reason why I'm bringing this up, your body starts to hurt, your shoulders get aches, and that's why everything's changing. Have an ear. Yeah. Well, I think that you can you can start to have physical symptoms if you're taking on stress. You can have physical symptoms if something is irritating you, and you start to react. It's actually a symptom after. It's an indication of something else that's already occurring. That's what I believe. So the reason why I wanted to bring up the solar flash was that there is a lot of change right now. So today is the funeral for the Queen. And I think if we go back in time and we remember the Industrial Revolution, the Industrial Age, there was a transition, and they were creating a new time period by the Industrial Revolution, and that began in 1760 in Great Britain. And so the Industrial Age has now moved on to the Information Age. However, the Industrial Revolution transformed from economics based on agricultural and handcrafting to large-scale industry, farming, population growth. And now it seems to be that they're completely taking that away altogether. They're not interested in any farmers anymore, or people doing things on their own. They want everything to be done all by permission, by globalizing everything. And at the same time, they're speaking of climate change. So when you globalize everything and you're producing more industrial, aren't you creating more harmful environmental changes and hurting the earth? I don't know. So it doesn't make sense. But I'm just bringing that up because I found it interesting that it started in Great Britain. And now I'm going to talk about the Queen. So the Queen, so lose your queen. And that is a term related in chess. I don't know if anyone plays chess. You go back to it. And so chess. So if you play the game of chess, It's checkmate. So when you lose the queen, and now we've lost the queen, and she actually reigned longer than any other monarch in Great Britain. And so this losing of your queen, you begin to, when you're playing the game of chess, you resign. As soon as you lose your queen, you say, oh, you know what? Well, you're a chess player. Good. So you'll understand this. Hamanio. Where are you coming from, Hamanio? So when you are playing the game of chess and the whole entire objective, right, is to get the king, and the king is protected by the queen. And the queen is like the female ruler of the chess game. Isn't that interesting that this game of chess, we speak of king and queens and how important the queen is in England. And so the queen inherits the position by right of birth. And she's a very powerful player. And in the game of chess, she can move many spaces, any number of spaces in a lot of different directions, in any different directions. Oh, Transylvania. Wow. What state is that? Is that Pennsylvania? Where's Transylvania? That's not even in America. Trump plays chess. Oh, does he? Well, he does play chess. You're right. He plays a lot of games, doesn't he? But he seems to win, doesn't he? So when you lose your queen, like we've lost the queen, what does that mean? To me, that's the end of an era. The queen is gone. Today's her funeral. And above all, she had respect. And which path was she taking? Service to self or service to others? I believe service to self. So she granted permission. She had to give approval. And she persevered in her wants. Oh, Europe. Hi. Thanks for coming from Europe. I hope you liked the video and just subscribe to the channel. And thanks for joining us. So when you lose your queen, like we have, what does that mean to the world? Because she kind of represents this whole monarch, this whole, she's in charge. And whether you realize it or not, she's worth 500 million, which is now inherited by the king, who is now Prince Charles, right? And so he's now inherited 500 million. This one person now has $500 million. And she actually is the one who appointed all the prime ministers, in fact, 15 of them. So she was born April 1926, and then she was crowned queen on June 1953. And she just passed away on September 8th, 2022, and she was 96 years old. Now, online, if you go on some of the social media, there's a lot of different, a lot of different nicknames for her. And there are those that believe that maybe she passed away 4 years ago and that was a clone, or was it a hologram, or was it a twin? We don't know. However, we do know that she's finally passed away. For whatever reason, she's gone. So today is the funeral. And so the funeral is going to take place at the service at Westminster Abbey. And then they're going to, and it's costing $7.5 million for today. Trump is coming back, very possibly is coming back in 2024. Aces, Michael, aces. So today, this queen is her funeral is costing $7.5 million for Great Britain. She's was worth $500 million. So it's the end of a reign. And this process is over. I believe this matrix, the linear world that we've been living in, these structures, this imprisonment is leaving with her. Now, today, there's going to be over 500 kings, queens, prime ministers, and presidents all attending this service and the funeral. And so she's going to be taken to St. George's Chapel at Windsor Castle, and then she's going to be buried at the Royal Vault. So this is the final part, isn't it? This to me is the end of a chapter. Here we go. We're headed into a new era. Are you excited like I am? And what is that era going to be? Well, it's going to be heaven on earth. It's going to be whatever our thinking, whatever our consciousness brings forward. We're creating a new reality. We're bringing more light onto the earth. And that's why I mentioned the solar flash earlier, because more light is coming onto the earth. So when this great solar flash happens, what is that going to do? It's going to be a blinding light. And they say it's going to be sudden, abrupt. I don't know how long it's going to last. They say flash, so a flash is pretty fast, but it's going to change everything forever. And the fact that we've lost the queen, you lose your queen in the game of chess. And so our world as we know it, this physical reality, we've lost our queen. It will never be the same. And so the game over, I think of game over. So game over means what? It's irreversible. Things aren't going to go back to the way they were. Are you experiencing that things are not going back to the way they were? They kept saying, it's going to go back to normal. What is normal exactly? Normal is you go to school, you're born, you're shoved into the systems, and you are given all this information that you have to memorize, and then you spit it back out, and they don't say, what do you think? And so all of our emotions and our feelings and our senses are crushed and compressed. And so if we feel something or we act out a little bit as children, they're like, here's some medication because you're feeling too much. You're thinking too much. Just do what we say. And so this one way of thinking that we've had probably the entire time that the queen was in her position as the monarch and she reigned over Great Britain is done. It's over. So let's choose not to continue with that matrix. Let's choose that her family has blue bloodline. Yeah. So let's choose not to continue. Let's open our minds, expand our consciousness, make room. That's why we do visualizations, to make room. We bring more light into our systems. Let's crack open our hearts and allow ourselves to feel and trust ourselves. Let's have a willingness to trust ourselves, have discernment with our opinions and our decision making, and don't conform. Like I say, we're a pack of rebels, not the rebels that cause havoc, the rebels that believe that there's another reality out there. So if we have collective consciousness, if enough of us have the same thoughts and the same language, that's why we're going to get into some words today like telekinesis and telepathy and levitation and teleportation, because if enough of us start to realize that these words aren't sci-fi and these words exist, and we really crack open every cell that's within us, our DNA we have a blueprint within our DNA in our cells that is everything that we're supposed to be. Now, when we were born, we had everything perfectly set up. Our heart and our spirit knew that. But then we were shoved into these systems, like the systems of the monarch and the reigning of one way of thinking. And so we weren't allowed to think. So how are we going to ever reach our destiny if we're following what everyone else is doing? Now, I think it's interesting sometimes to see what's going on, what allegedly is going on in the news. But like we say, that's mass marketing. All of that is advertisement. Every single time you turn on the TV, you're being a customer. You're a client. You're a client of the systems. You have to know you're being subliminally told what to buy, who to be, where to go, what to do. And who's doing that? Well, the people in charge. They're telling you they are the puppeteers and we are the puppets. So just be aware that the commercials are just not every 15 minutes or every 10 minutes. They're the whole entire show. If you turn on the news or the media, you will see that everything is pretty similar on most channels because the paid advertisers are the ones paying for the news. That's how the news is on. It's not free. Those people are getting paid. Everything is paid for. So whoever's advertising is paying for whatever's said. So just be aware. Now, is it true? Well, I could write a story and pop it on the news and make it up. I don't know if it's true. I believe I must see things for myself with my own eyes. So right now, what do I see? Well, I see right now I have this mug. I have a mug of tea. I'm living right here. I'm doing this live video. I'm in the moment. My puppy dog Elsa's right there and she's enjoying this. And so that's what I can see in this physical reality. Now, yes, I mentioned our third eye, and we talk about doing our ball of light, and that's another realm, that's another reality or another place, another location. But in this physical reality, I know that this is all I can see. Can I see anything that's going on in the other part of the world? No. Do I know it to be true? No, I don't, because I can't see it myself. So I don't trust everything that I see on the television or the news or the media or the commercials or the shows. I only trust what I can see with my own eyes. If I have a close friend, I'm going to trust what they say. So just be aware. So now that we've lost the queen and she is being buried, how is that going to affect you? So why are they spending $7 million on this funeral, on this service? Because it's meaningful to who? Who is it meaningful? Oh, so during her reign, the benefits were supposedly unity, pride, stability for the country, success, and excellence. So if the queen is gone, what's going to happen next? Well, I believe there's going to be a lot of change. I sense it in the air. Like I went to the beach yesterday. Hi, yay. It's all fake. Casper One. Hey, I know I said that earlier, Casper One. Well, I said, when did she die? When did she pass? They said that she's had clones or she's had, it's been a hologram. And so now that she's passed, what's going to happen? Well, it's so interesting. I went to the beach yesterday and I felt like something was coming. I felt like there was this big, big change, humongous change. Maybe it is going to be September 24th. Maybe the stock market will crash. Maybe the economic rate, the economics are going to shift around. I don't know. I just know I sense a big change is coming, and which brings me on to my intuition and your intuition. And have you worked on your intuition? And did you tune into your heart today? So the fact that we are experiencing this big universal change on our planet, which is losing the queen, checkmate, it's done, she's gone. And these 500 queens and kings and 2,000 guests are attending means that we're supposed to pay attention to it. It's supposed to be significant. Or you could channel Metatron. And so I want you to tune into your intuition. And what does that mean for you? Are you receiving any information? What were your dreams? Anyone want to share their dreams today? And tell me what you're sensing about change. So what is our intuition? Well, we've spoken about our intuitive skill set, our clairsenses, but technically our intuition, when they say follow your intuition, we're not really told ever. It's not like in school they say, there should really be telepathy school and intuition school. They should really say from the beginning, hey, hi, you're in school now, you're in nursery school, why don't you follow your intuition? And then kids will say, well, what is my intuition? Well, your intuition is kind of a sixth sense. It's a knowing. You have the ability to understand something immediately without conscious reasoning. And the reason why I really thought it was super important to bring up intuition is because on a daily basis, people are going around thinking, thinking, thinking. And they're making all their decisions based on, because that's what we were trained to do. That's what we were told to do from the beginning, was to consider conscious reasoning. Well, let me consider this. But let me tell you, from the day you were born, incarnated on this new earth Gaia, you had all the answers in your spirit and heart. You were connected because you just came from the angelic realm. You were just born into this physical reality. So everything was more dense here. And everything is about conscious reasoning. It's about, let me think about that. So you're not going with your heart and your spirit, are you? And so it's an instinctive feeling. There's no proof. It's without validation. Like I say, when you're giving a reading to someone and you're receiving information, you're receiving impressions, there's no proof unless the person says, oh, you were right about that about me. You know, if you do a reading, if you do one of these readings, right, which is the token object reading, psychometry, it's ESP. It's the ability to discover facts and information and data from an object, from a location, by a person touching objects. Hi, Jody. Thanks for joining us. Intuition in my third eye. Exactly, Hamano. And if I butcher names, I apologize. So our intuition is really connected to our third eye. Absolutely. And so this is really a way to discover how you're doing. It's a way of really testing yourself, because you have to take away all conscious reasoning. You have to take away all thinking skills. It's just solely your intuition. Like what information are you receiving? So we can perceive and know things without being told. We can do that through telepathy. And so telepathy is like mind reading, and you're hearing the innermost thoughts of somebody, and it's like a direct transference of their communication, like their thoughts. It's like they're communicating with you, you know, mind to mind or senses to senses. And it's thoughts, it's ideas, and that's what telepathy is. And we all are actually capable of telepathy. We just have to turn it on. Now, I've spoken about the different clairsenses, and I've spoken about being empathic. Maybe you have clairaudience and you can hear beyond the walls of the room. You can hear from another location. It's a knowing. Now, let me remind you a couple of things. If you're just starting out, or even if you're not, because it's good to be reminded, you must have a dial. Imagine a dial. So when you tune in, right, when you start to tune in to all your senses, and you just like really are strong with your focus and concentration, whether it be that you're tuning into an object, whether it be that you're giving a reading on someone or receiving information, or it might be you've gotten a dream and then you're trying to understand the dream. Be aware that as you awaken all these different senses within you, you might get some negative energies coming at you. Or it might be so powerful and strong that you feel overwhelmed and you can't even like concentrate or do a regular task. So you want to imagine a dial in front of you that you can bring it on stronger or less. In other words, you're tuning into like magnifying your skill set. So just think about this. Like when you go into a room and you close your eyes and you tune in beyond the walls of the room and you start to do this and you open up all your clairsenses, it might be overwhelming at first. So you might want to turn it down. So it's like the dial. You used to have this dial of a radio, or even the volume in your car. If you tune that, that's what you want to imagine. And I know it sounds very simplistic, but it works. The other thing is you want to imagine light around you. If you feel like you go out into the public and there's a crowd, or maybe you go to work, or like I was at church, and a lot of times I imagine light because I'm receiving all these frequencies. Everything has a vibration. Everything, all these frequencies that we are receiving seems to be very overwhelming for our fragile, sacred beings that we are of light. So be aware. Now, if you are focused on achieving more of you, what does that mean? In other words, you're really trying to get all of you online. Then you're going to have to do some simple things, like you're going to have unconditional love for yourself. You're going to have to forgive yourself for anything that you've done, anything. All your shadow characteristics you're going to have to embrace. And you might have to turn around and forgive others or ask for forgiveness, because we can't be clear and we can't fully be all of ourselves until we have love for ourselves. We just can't. I'm sorry. So we must cherish ourselves, and we must realize that we are worthy beings of light. So if you were told at any time in your life that you were unworthy and you weren't cherished, you must cherish yourself and kind of nurture yourself. Like I said the other day, if you were lucky enough to have those around you nurture you and give you love, I'm happy for that. I'm grateful, and I'm happy that there's those out there who didn't have to suffer. But if you were someone who had to suffer and had tragedy, and there were difficult times that were constant, you're going to have to learn to cherish yourself and love yourself. And so we're going to have a willingness and trust for our own decisions, and have self-confidence and believe in ourselves. Like I say, there's an invisible line surrounding us. And you imagine this line, and no one can cross over into this space unless you give permission, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. So if someone does cross over that line, let's say it could be a million things. It could be something as severe as someone physically harms you, or it could be just someone said something that hurt your feelings. You must say, it hurt my feelings, because then if it doesn't, that will turn into something else. That energy, everything is energy. Every vibration is energy. That will turn into something else. Maybe it will channel into an addiction. Maybe it will channel into self-sabotage. Maybe you will just not believe in yourself. So everything, or you're going to just block your throat chakra. You must release it. Either journal it. If someone's hurt you, tell them, tell a friend, find like-minded people, but let it go. You must release it. Now, when we want to embrace ourselves, that means everything. We're going to embrace everything, all the naughty things that we did. Everyone's done naughty things. Whether it's big or small, we must embrace all the naughty things that we've done. And we must look at it and say, okay, I did that. And as we do that, we become more of ourselves. And we can come out the other side, and we can find heaven on earth. So all these energies and vibrations that we're receiving definitely affect us. So be aware, whether it's the television, whether it's Wi-Fi, whether it's another person. So we have to start to understand ourselves more and more. And that's why we're working on our clairsenses. And we're tuning into our feelings and our emotions and our dreams. Go out into nature, spend 5 to 15 minutes in nature. It's very healing. We are in the process of healing ourselves. During the awakening process, like I said, the solar flash, losing your queen, all of these are going to be somewhat abrupt changes. So you're going to have to start to have a plan, start to be aware that it's going to affect you. Everything's going to affect you. And it's going to affect you because it's a different reality. As you become awakened, you're going to start to think differently. It's like closing your eyes and there's nothing in front of you. And what reality would you create? That's what's going to happen. We're going to be creating a reality. So are there going to be leaders? Are you going to want new leaders? Are you going to want a new king or queen? Are you going to want new people in positions of power that are worth $500 million? Or are you going to want to create your own reality with your own ideas? Because this is an era that's over now. This physical matrix is in the trash. It's gone. So let's let go of these attachments that we've had. We mentioned that last week. Our belief attachments that are like this thing that's attached to us, that we're the host, and we're constantly having to, send life into these old belief systems, old beliefs and old thoughts and old attachments. Forget about what happened 5 minutes ago, what your thoughts were. Let's go with what's right now. What is your plan for your destiny right now? What is your 5 humongous goals? Where are you going? Keep your eye on the prize. Don't get off your path. It's important right now. We want to get there as quickly as we can. We don't want to waste any more time. We want to have a fun, joyful life, don't we? We want to hug each other and love each other and accept everyone. So as we accept ourselves, we will begin to accept everyone else, every single person. Anyone who's joining us, write in the chat. I hope you liked the video. So your intuition, become an observer. What does that mean? Be aware of everything that happens. The more that you expand your consciousness and make room in your brain and stop with these looping thoughts and this same energetic pattern. We want to break our energetic patterns. We don't want to go task. We want to enjoy. They say, smell the rose. Did you smell the roses? We want to grow happier. As we get older, we want to be happier. Don't we? We don't want to be more miserable. We want to let go of fear. If fear is your attachment, when I say this bag and bundle of fear that you have or attachments that are on you and you're like giving it life, is that fear? Because, our physical reality promotes fear. They're marketing fear. So let's be an observer of all of the things that are going on before us. What's going on right now in your existence? Can you hear outside your window? I mean, are people alerting you of things and warning you of things? Are you paying attention? Are you looking beyond this physical realm? Are you trying to activate your third eye and crack open all of you? Because when you crack open all of you, things are going to start to change within you. It's going to be exciting. More of your personality is going to come online. You're going to have memories that you forgot. Like I said, you might have been asleep in school and you might remember everything that you were taught, even though you were asleep. Because as soon as you allow all of you to come forward and you don't conform and you trust yourself, your mind and your spirit to reach your destiny, you're going to have synchronicity. And everything is going to come together and you're going to get validation. You're going to be validated. Now, I'm not saying you're going to have some rough patches in there because as you awaken, you have to deal with your stuff. Who wants to deal with their stuff? I've been awakened. I start my full-blown awakening. It was, I guess it was September of last year. It was a year ago. So I've been undergoing it for 1 year. So what's kind of transpired for me? I don't know for you. If you're a late timeline arrival, welcome. Here we are all together. And we're realizing that there's another reality out there. And that reality is heaven on earth. We are sovereign beings. We have free will. So what's happened for me? Well, I started getting some lucid dreams, some light codes. It sounds also like cryptic, these terminologies, doesn't it? but I'm going to just break it down quickly. So it's basically you're getting some kind of messages dropping into your head. I had some psychic attacks, some dark energies trying to kind of push me back into the matrix thinking, the programming. But I was already awakened, so there was no turning back. When you become awakened, you can't turn back. You only can go forward. And so you're on this journey and you're kind of, like I said, an owl in the dark. You know, owls can see in the dark. And so you're going to learn to see in the dark. All your intuitive skills are going to come forward. You're going to have one that you're going to master, one intuitive skill that you will master that you're going to be better at. You're going to be better at tuning in one way. Maybe you'll be clairvoyant. Maybe you'll have clairaudience. Maybe you'll have clairsustenance. Maybe you'll be empathic. You will have one that is very strong within you, and maybe some will come behind, but you will mostly have one that comes forward. And then maybe it will be you're very telepathic and you can communicate with others and you can hear other people's thoughts. Like we say, we all are telepathic, whether we realize it or not. We were just not allowed to be. We were told it was sci-fi. We were told that was silliness or ridiculous. It's not. It's not. You have a knowing. And so what is that knowing? A knowing from another source. When you receive information from another source, that's knowing. So you can have a friend send you information from another location, and they're the sender and you're the receiver. And we spoke about that. You set up a time and you have them have a picture of you and they're saying your name and they're sending you information. Maybe they're telling you about your day and you're sitting down at that exact time and you're receiving the impression, thought transference. Now, why is that possible? That's possible because feelings and emotions have a charged impulse. So that charged impulse is coming to you and you're receiving it if you tune in. Like I said the other day, if you all of a sudden are thinking of someone and then they call you, they telepathically received that information from you. Now, the more clear you are, that's why it's important to get through a lot of this new awakening stuff. If you're clear, you'll be better at it. And you'll know yourself more. So we're going to break down a lot of messages and information. So I'm going to give you an example. So if I was to leave my place and I was to get out into my car and I was pulled up and I'm about to pull out onto the street and somebody walking by with a headset was speaking information very loudly, they might be giving me a message right there because nothing is by accident. Everything happens for a reason. So they're walking in front of me and they're relaying information. So I would listen to that information and I bet it would be supporting something that I needed to know. So just be aware. That's an example. It might be that you're thinking about something and a friend calls up and tells you that exact topic. So you're listening. Or maybe you actually sent that vibration out into the world and it's coming back to you like a boomerang, right? Maybe it's boomerang information. So be aware. So be an observer. Now, if we want to get down to the matrix and what's gone on in the matrix when it comes to intuition, they actually have in the matrix, in the systems, the medical field has this thing called, I don't know if you've ever heard of it, Myers-Briggs personality types. And so it's this test. And I believe it's a couple of hundred questions. And it was designed by Carl Jung. And it was about your personality. And so interestingly enough, in this Myers-Briggs, there's 4 intuitive personalities. Funny, right? So if you have a strong potential already for an intuitive personality, which I think everyone has an intuitive personality. Hey, Jolie Hollywood. Hey, Tommy. Hey, how are you, Tommy? I'm sending you a hi. Hi, sending love. Sorry, I just saw that. Joe Hollywood, say hi to Roger. Have a great day. Something like that happened to me in Super rare way to tell me I'm on the real flash. Right. So these are validations. Sometimes we receive messages or signs that we're on the right path. So be aware of synchronicity. So interesting. Let me share this. So the Myers-Briggs personality type literally talks about 4 intuitive types. So if you're, here they are. I'm going to share them with you. Ready? So let's see if you're any of them. So INFJ. INFJ. So what is INFJ? It's a rare personality type, and it's a strong opinion. You have strong opinions, or boy, I just keep getting tons of phone calls today, don't I? I don't know. I'm not even answering. I'm not answering the phones. Okay, so strong opinions and ideas. You're an INFJ. And so you're a creative imagination. You have a connection to others. You're very insightful, and you see things that are being manipulated. So you're very aware of someone who is manipulative. So you have very deep, strong, intuitive abilities. And you are a leader. So you tend to be someone who leads. So now here's another type. An INFP would be a great communicator. You relate on a deeper level, and you understand most people, and you're a free spirit. See how there's these different types? And we'll bring this back up again another time, because I find it very interesting that Carl Jung came up with this way back when. I'll have to find the year. Now, an ENFP, you're driven by your intuition. You see the deeper meaning, which is what I'm speaking of. When I say look for signs and messages, okay, be an observer, you see deeper meaning in things. And your emotions drive you, and you see the shade of things. You see the gray. Now, I kind of looked over this, and I didn't really determine what I am, because I don't really like to pigeonhole myself. Like I say, I'm a rebel. I say that, I'm a dark horse, because a dark horse is the one that is the least candidate to win the race, but I'm going to win the race. And so but I don't know if I would consider that I was one of these, maybe someone else would. So let's get into our psychic phenomenon. So psychic phenomenon. Well, here's an example of teleportation. So where am I doing? And so what is teleportation? Well, is it possible? Can we teleport others, which is moving an object or a person to another location? Is that possible? Anyone joining us, please like and subscribe in the video, in the chat. I'm Mary coming live. We spoke about the solar flash. We spoke about losing your queen. We spoke about intuition. So psychic phenomenon we're getting into now. So it's a knowing from an outside source. And so teleportation is like a machine, and this being, this person is transported to another location. Is that possible? Now we talk about tele. Tele seems to be, when the term tele is actually, telepathy, which is moving to another location. Telekinesis is the ability to move objects. So it would be if I was to move this object to another location, or like if I could move it across the room, would be telekinesis. And it might be considered a levitation if I could lift this up in the air, so something could rise in the air, and it defies gravity. So with my mind, I'm actually moving this object, would be levitation. And so as we work our minds, the way we're working them in a different way, we're actually utilizing our skill set through our thoughts and our feelings. We might be able to move this and have levitation by we tune in and we try to lift it with our mind. I don't know. I'm open to it. Are we going to have telepathy where we're transferring our thoughts to another person, or they're transferring their thoughts to me? So it's impression transference. So what is impression transference? Well, it can happen because it's a charged impulse. So that's how I'm receiving someone else's thoughts, because Thoughts have a vibration. Like we say, every thought, that's why your thoughts are very powerful and they can create your reality. So if you say something negative about your life or you for 2 weeks, that's your destiny. That's why I say every thought matters. And in the morning when you wake up, if you could imagine a sentence in front of you, what would that be? Would it be, oh, this day is going to suck, or oh, something negative and dark? Or is it like, wow, I'm really excited about today and good things are happening? Because that's your thought. You put positive words around everything that you want to have happen. That's how you're going to get to your destiny. You're not going to get to your destiny by being negative. Be positive. And like attracts like, if you're positive about what you want in your life, you will attract that. You will bring that forward faster, the more clear you are. So as you awaken, hey, I did have a weird dream. One time I had electrical powers that made me even levitate in a large electricity. Looked like a destroyed planet, post-solar flash. Interesting. Well, you know what? You start to make me think of Nikola Tesla, right? Nikola Tesla. And he was probably the greatest scientist, if you want to call him the greatest scientist ever to live. And he invented free energy. And so that sounds like a Nikola Tesla dream. So let's consider that we have these abilities. Let's believe and have trust. Is there proof or evidence? No. So if you ask someone else, like I say, if you go ask someone else, be sure you're asking someone with the like mind, or they're going to poo-poo or tell you that it's not possible. They're not going to believe in ESP, extrasensory perception. And they're not really going to encourage this side of you. Now, if we conform to everyone else, we're not going to reach our destiny. We're going to reach whoever's destiny is the leader of those conformers. So imagine, it's like you're told to do something. Well, who's in charge? That's their plan. That's their destiny. Is it yours? Have discernment with every decision that you make. Subliminal thoughts that come in. Are all the thoughts that you have yours? Did you wake up and consider it's an attachment of someone else's thoughts on your brain? It's baggage. Get rid of it. Dump it on the side of the road. You don't need it. Let go of anything before this moment. Live in this moment. So we say, how do we create our destiny? How do we create our destiny? Well, we're going to breathe out, because we can't have ourselves be stiff or stressed or anxiety. We're not going to get to our destiny that way. So we have to breathe out, let go. And secondly, in this moment, look around. If you're not in this moment, what good is anything if you're not in this moment? Here I am, I'm holding these glasses, I'm in this moment. And then in this moment, think about what you want, the prize, your destiny. What is it you want? And then in this moment, with your mind, your heart, and your spirit, place it in this moment, present. So what is it going to be? We're going to put it right here on my hands. What is it that you want? Do you want a fabulous silver car? Do you want to be an owner of a business, your own thing? Do you want to be a painter? Do you want to take trips across the planet? Do you want to travel? Put it right here in this moment. Let go of anything else before this moment. No thought attachments. You're not allowed anymore. I'm not giving permission for thought attachments. You're not going to get your destiny. Come on, come with me. Come on, you can get there. Anything is possible. You're the creator of your destiny. So don't conform. Now, you can like something that anyone else is liking, but that doesn't mean that you're conforming. That means you made a choice. Like, I saw this. Now, if everyone else was wearing it, I don't think I'd wear it, but if everyone else was saying it was great and I do like it, I would probably say I want that because I like it too. But that's me having discernment. I'm not wearing this because everyone else is wearing this. So be aware. So let's consider that we have these extraordinary supernatural abilities and capacities. Now imagine if every single bit of your DNA came forward online. You've awakened. So the awakening process is going to be, you're going to wake up. You're waking up from this matrix, this linear world, the only one reality, because you are a rebel like I am, and you're here joining us. And you're going to be an owl that sees in the dark, because it's going to be like you're in the dark trying to figure out a new way. It's a new way. If you want to take flight to your destiny, it's going to be a new way. And so this new way, you're going to have to see in the dark, because you're going to have to trust yourself. And you're going to receive knowing from another source, because you're going to be open to it, and you're going to ask for it to come into your life. So maybe it's going to cause physical symptoms, awakening, because you're not going on the same path anymore. You left that path. You're off that old matrix, linear world, 3D reality. You're headed to the 5D. You're on your way to the 5D. And that 5D is free thinking, free will. You're a sovereign being, heaven on earth. So you're going to have physical symptoms. Maybe you're going to change what you eat. In the last year, I can't eat beef. I can't eat a lot of foods. And it wasn't by choice. I just couldn't. It made me sick. So you're going to have physical changes. So it might be that you don't sleep the same. It might be that you just completely think differently. Maybe your personality, maybe you're going to laugh more. Maybe you'll cry a little bit more. Maybe more of you'll allow to come forward. And then you're going to have what's called the dark night of the soul. What is that? That means that you're going to have to deal with all your stuff. I'm so sorry to tell you. But the good news is, after you've dealt with all your stuff, so all that you've harmed, you have to ask for forgiveness. Now, you don't have to go to them and say, please forgive me. You can send it out verbally and ask, because it's a vibration like we speak of. It's a charged impulse. So if you're clear and you say, I am so sorry, blah, blah, whoever it is, Jane or Jack or whoever it is, I'm so sorry that this happened, or did I hurt you? I'm sorry. You're going to have to do all that as you become awakened. Why? Because you're going to want to heal. You're going to want to help. And then you're going to have service to others come forward. You're going to choose the path of service to others, which we said 51% of your thoughts and actions are service to others. Now, if you have service to self with me, which means you're like, me. I want more stuff. It's all about me. I'm so great. Me. That's service to self. And if you have service to self, 95% of your thoughts and your actions and your words are service to self. It's all about me. Aren't I so great? I'm the greatest. Service to self. Now, if you create a new reality, which is heaven on earth, are you going to care what everyone else has, or what they do, or what they look like? Well, we're going to embrace every single being, even those that have harmed us, because we must send love to heal. So if we all send love to heal those who have been hurt, then we'll all join together. It's going to be oneness. We're going to have collective consciousness of light and love. Hey, okay, so let's read some here. Chester worked with John Trump, hanging Donald Trump. Trump was all paperwork, energy, and everything. Hello, Miss. Hi, Hasten. Thanks for, Husan. I'm so sorry for names. I'm not, long time from Kuwait. Hi. So we have Kuwait. We have a lot of people from different locations. So I wish to see live video at 7 p.m. Changed my life. Greetings. Well, you know what? I'm here for you. I'm here for you. This is what I'm supposed to do. Like, as soon as I say that, I get emotional because I really am. And why am I like this? Because I struggled a lot. Because I had some really tough times and I had to figure everything out myself. And so that's why I'm here, because I'm sharing my information and I want good things for you. And I want to tell you that you're all worthy. I'm sending love to everyone here. So please like the video so everyone else can find us. And I hope you subscribe to the channel. So Joe Hollywood, look up John Trump used to work by. Yes, I know about the John Trump. So John Trump actually was the one that was sent to Nikola Tesla's apartment. Nikola Tesla lived in the city and he had some laboratories. A couple of them were burned down. And another phone call. And so Nikola Tesla was Croatian, and he was the creator of thousands of inventions. One day I'll talk about him. In fact, I want to talk about him now. And so when he passed away, the FBI sent John Trump to go look through his possessions and his diaries, and they wanted to see if anything he had was in danger. He created the ray gun, which was the death ray gun, and it was sending energy that would kill you across. I guess it was like, there's pictures of it. It was literally looked like a gun. And so he went, John Trump, and looked through all his belongings and said there was nothing there that could hurt anyone. Now, I believe that they took all that information and they utilized it. You really changed my life, and I'm sending love to you. Thank you so much, Hassan. Thank you. I hope you join me. Join us. It's been since 2004 since Trump became president. I can't sleep at all things spiritual. I just cry in my blood. Try to block you. I'll get there from God. You know what? I'm trying to decipher what you're saying, Michael, and so, hi, Patrick. Thanks for joining us. Oh, you're awesome. You guys are awesome. I hope you liked the video. So, look, I'm trying to decipher what you're saying, but this is how it goes. So we can't control anything out here. We can only control ourselves, which means that we have to love ourselves first. And we can't love anyone else unless we love ourselves. And so that means that we have to go back to what I say is our 3 characteristics that make us genuine and unique. And we are extraordinary beings of light. We are sacred beings of light. And so what are your 3 characteristics, Michael? Because I'm sending this to you, Michael. What are your 3 characteristics? Because what I'm saying is it might be something physical where you say, oh, and everyone has, and you probably have 100 beautiful characteristics, but you can say 3, and we're going to stand on those 3 whenever we get down. When we're having a bad day, we're going to go, wait, what's my 3 characteristics? So what could it be? Maybe you have the most beautiful brown eyes. Maybe you're amazing at, someone said they were a chess player. Maybe you are a great friend. What are your 3 extraordinary characteristics that make you genuine? Because you have them. And then when you have a bad day, you stand on those and you say, okay, I have these 3 characteristics that make me special and unique. And I have gratitude for living in this moment and breathing. Let's have gratitude. Gratitude is so important because it reminds us how everything is possible here now. Because really, if we stretch out the moment, we're so capable of so much in this moment. And in this moment, we can have blessings, we can have gratitude, we can say our mantras, we can remind ourselves of our 3 characteristics. There's so much that we can do just in this moment. In this moment, we can let out a breath, let go of attachments and old thought beliefs, all the beliefs in the matrix, let go. And we can see our destiny, eye on the prize right here in this moment, eye on the prize. So let's keep our eye on the prize. Let's remind ourselves of all of our 3 characteristics. You probably have 100 unique characteristics. You are worthy. You are worthy. If someone criticized you and beat you up, or maybe you beat yourself up and sabotage yourself, you're not cherishing yourself. You're not loving yourself. How are you going to get to your destiny? Come on, we're on our way. So we're going to be an owl. We're going to see in the dark. We're going to close our eyes. We're going to work on our intuitive skills, and we're going to become better at it. So let's do the ball of light. Hey, everybody, whoever's joining me, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Tell me where you're coming from. We're going a little past the time today because we were covering a lot. We covered the solar flash. And when this white beaming light, this light's going to come upon the earth, and everyone that's not awakened is going to wake up. And they're going to be like, what's going on? I was asleep. And then they're going to have all the symptoms like we mentioned. And we also mentioned the losing your queen. Like we kind of parlayed that into the game of chess. And when you lose your queen, it's checkmate. You can get the king. The game is over. And so game over. So the queen's funeral is today. She was worth 500 million. They say, what did she pass before that? And there's 2,000 guests, 500 kings and queens, prime ministers and presidents, and it's the end of a reign. And so here we are. When I wake up every morning and every night, when I go to bed, I give thanks. Yes, blessings. Perfect. All right, so before we go, we're going to do the ball of light, and then we're going to do a quick visualization because we're way past our time. So let's do our visualization. And so we're going to put our hands together. We're going to rub our hands, and we're going to feel, maybe we're going to feel some kind of vibration on our hands, right? And that means, what are we doing with this? We're creating energy. We're creating light on this physical reality. We're going to learn to clear space through our mind and through our spirit and our abilities, because we can clear space. We can bring light into anywhere we go. If things aren't going well, we're going to learn to bring light into the space. This is living in the light. Okay, so we're rubbing our hands together, okay, because we're creating a vibration. We're creating a ball of light. We're working on our concentration, our focus. Now we're going to separate our hands, and hopefully, now if you take any medication, even something for a pain reliever, it's going to affect this. So you should feel some kind of vibration on your palms, right? And so why are we doing this? Well, we're doing this to work on our intuitive abilities because we're learning about our sensations. Do you have any feelings about this? You're learning how to create light. You're going to be a light worker, and you're bringing light onto the earth. So here it is, right? And then maybe you want to make it a ball. And so here's this ball of light. And what do I do with this? I go into my third eye, and gifted, that's all I know. And I get that. That's all I know. Okay, well, you probably are gifted if you say so. We're all gifted. We all have intuitive abilities. We're just going to find out what they are. So that's why we're going to kind of cover a lot of different things. And we're going to go into those things. We must have a willingness to trust because we have no proof. Okay, so here we have our ball of light. So we're bringing light into the earth, into this physical plane, this physical reality. So we do this now. We have light here. Here's some light. And so this is energy. We're creating energy. And so what I've been doing is I go into my third eye to see what I see. If there's anything I see. And so I see flapping of wings, which could be a bird. It's actually, I see Archangel Michael. I always see standing here, the warrior coming from the heavens to earth, protecting humanity. They're messengers, angels. And so let's see. Oh, I heard goat before I saw the goat. So that's my clairaudience kicking in. Okay, when I hear something from another source, it's a knowing from another source. Okay, so now I heard the word peace. So I'm actually inviting clairaudience. Now that was a different sound than the other one. That was a different sound, peace. Yes, there's peace in my third eye. So it's my mind's eye, and we work on that when we do our light visualizations. Okay, so what else do I see? So basically, if I don't tune in too hard, I get more information. So the angels are there playing, and wow, this is very peaceful now I'm getting. All right, so to me, this is like a premonition. This is a vision. This is information that I'm receiving, and I'm relaying it to the physical reality. Usually I get these and then it's what's coming. So there's change here and it's very peaceful. So that's good. So I'm putting my hands back together. Now, you might do this and you get another thing. You might go into a trance like my friend did it and she went into a trance. You might channel information. I put my hands back together. Okay, so let's see. I see things and hear things I try to block from my memory. No, I don't. Look, it's all perspective and perception. So when things go wrong, it can mean a new beginning. It means change is coming. You might be receiving so much information, Michael, that you want to tune it down. It might be so overwhelming to you that it's hurting you. So use your dial and tune it down. It's a workout for the third eye. It's like a muscle which needs to be utilized on a regular basis to become stronger. Yes. So we work on our third eye. Okay, so I'm going to do a quick visualization because we're way out of time. We're past the time. So as we begin to see in the dark more and more as owls, because we're realizing how many gifts we actually have that we weren't told of, that you had since you were born, and you didn't even work on them. It takes practice. But what's so interesting is as you awaken to this higher consciousness, I'm getting buzzing. You're going there. That's one of those. So physical symptom might be tingling in the ligaments in your legs. I always get in my legs. You might get a buzzing in your right ear, a ringing. You might start to be able to hear other dimensions, which is what happens to me. I can hear another dimension. You might get like stomach issues. So, but they're very minor, the physical symptoms when you awaken. And the other side of it is your body is changing from carbon-based to crystalline light. You're turning to more light. Okay, so we will create vivid mental images in the mind's eye, bringing us hope, happiness, and joy. So blessings. Our intention today is to clear away negative thoughts through a glowing ball of light. So let's realize connecting your mind, heart, spirit to divine light will shed darkness and unblock your true purpose and potential. Your glowing light visualization begins now. Please find a quiet spot, sit or lay down comfortably, let go of anything that's bothering you. And you might want to do that by breathing or words. So we're letting go of any thoughts, and we've mentioned that all day today. And so we're going to relax and find our peace pretty much in a quiet space. You might lay down. And so let's together release any tension that we have. And we're going to do that through breathing. We're going to inhale and exhale 3 times together. And we're going to do that on a 12 count. Okay? Okay, so as we've done that, we've let go. The whole purpose of this is so that we're activating our third eye and we're bringing light into our being. So now we scan our body for stress or tension. And so we're going to bring awareness to our thoughts. And we're going to imagine being inside of our brain. So what thoughts do you automatically go to? Are they positive? Are they negative? Are they helping you? Would you like to release them? Are you circling back to these same thoughts over and over again? So if you are, let's let go and let's be in this present moment. And so our thoughts create our future, our personality, and our destiny. So let's try to open up more space in our mind. So let's imagine as we close our eyes, we're going to imagine that we're moving aside some of these thoughts. And thoughts that we don't need, we're going to just let go. They're not serving us anymore. They're of no service. They're not helping us. We're not gaining any insight. They're just blocking us. They're blocking us from our destiny. So we're letting go. So as we clear away these thoughts, we're going to have more of a pure spirit. So we're going to open up more room. We're going to visualize a bigger space. And we're going to release these thoughts. We're going to breathe them out. And we're going to say them out loud if we need to. And we're going to place light in this space in our minds. It's a glowing light. It's peace. It's quiet. And we're going to imagine in this space in our mind the biggest hope and wish that we have. And we're going to leave it there. So we're going to say, I want, or I would like, and we're going to leave, and we're going to say the rest of the sentence. We're going to leave it in our mind. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to leave that beautiful thought in this light in our mind. And we're going to imagine positive thoughts related to that, because good things are happening for us. And we're going to count backwards to 3 and open our eyes, or count backwards to 1. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so basically the purpose of that is to kind of remind you to have stillness, because when we have stillness and quiet, we have a better aptitude for processing, for concentration, for focus. We have more room for new ideas, and maybe we'll remember something that we wanted to do. And it's giving us more patience. We're allowing ourselves to have more rest. Rush, rush, rush is not always good. We have to find time for rest and quiet. Okay, so I want to say I'm wishing everyone well today, and I hope you join me again tomorrow. I'm sending light. I'm spinning light clockwise and counterclockwise, and you're in the middle and you're making a wish. And I hope you like the video. I hope you join and subscribe to the channel, and I'm wishing good things for you. So let's work on our intuitive abilities. Let's spend some time in quiet, closing our eyes and listening beyond the walls of the room. And I'm spinning light, and you're in the middle and you're making a wish. Okay, everyone, you're all wonderful. Have a wonderful day. Remember your 3 characteristics. Stand on them. Love yourself and be well. Have a wonderful Monday. Good wishes. Bye.